a little bit different for us, but our first speaker tonight is Judge Valerie Zachary, who's on the North Carolina Court of Appeals. And I felt it important to invite Judge Zachary tonight, being she is a Yadkin County resident, and because as Paul alluded to, the General Assembly or Congress can pass some great bills that do some great things for agriculture and farmers across the state. But judges' elections are just as important. Paul can speak to it, but the Farm Bureau Legal Foundation is involved in suits right now and litigation and upholding laws that have been passed by Congress and passed by the General Assembly, and they are now held up in court. So, I think it's important that we know Judge Zachary, and I think it's important that we know our judge races, and I just want to invite her to come forward and share a little bit with us about her role as a member of the North Carolina Court of Appeals.
Thank you, Justin. It's good to be back in Yadkin County where everyone can understand my accent. And I say that in jest, but seriously, on the Court of Appeals, most of the people down there are from urban areas. Or if they're from a rural area, they've been gone so long that they don't remember what it's like out in the country. And, I'm convinced that I have been hit with electric fences more than anybody else on any of our appellate courts. Because when I was a kid, I had a unique talent for finding an electric fence and running into it. So, for those of you who don't know me that well, I was a Johnson, related to all these Johnsons around here, have been here forever, and I went to Boonville Elementary School. Then I went to high school in Michigan and college in Michigan, law school in Massachusetts, and then came back to North Carolina, where I took a job with a firm in Charlotte. And of course, every day I was up north, they'd say, "Where are you from?" And I'd try to explain where Yadkin County was. But after I came back to North Carolina, I ended up marrying Lee and coming right back to Yadkin County again. So I just made a big circle. It was a wonderful place to be here as a child, and I enjoyed raising my child here. Ooh. In the summer of 2015, after Lee and I had been practicing together about 26 years, the governor appointed me to the Court of Appeals. And then I had to run a statewide race, won the race, and won an 8-year term on the Court of Appeals then. It's not like going to court here in Yadkin County. If you go to court here and you think that something wasn't done right, then you appeal it. And usually, 99% of the time, it's going to come up to the Court of Appeals. Then we look at it. So there are 15 judges there, and we sit in 3 judge panels. So what we do is we read the record, we read the transcript of the hearing or the trial, we read the lawyer's briefs. It can be hundreds of pages or thousands of pages. But we go through them, and then we come up with an opinion as to whether or not everything was done properly. Our opinion is like a term paper. So we basically I have to get out about 2 term papers a week. So it's not the 3-ring circus that you see in a courtroom. It's more of a reading and writing position. So if you come in the Court of Appeals, some people call it the monastery because it's really quiet. No radios, because it's just a bunch of people sitting around like little scribes. During the pandemic, we didn't skip a beat. We did not close. We kept having our hearings. The Supreme Court did as well. We did them remotely on WebEx. We have a great IT department, and they took care of that. So no one missed an oral argument. The briefs kept coming, the cases kept coming, and we kept churning out opinions. We've been told that there's going to be a huge onslaught of COVID-related litigation in the next decade. There's all types of things that are related to COVID in the law. So like if you say I have a family law case where dad doesn't want mom to have visitation because he doesn't think she's being careful enough about COVID. Or mom lives in Florida and dad doesn't want the kid flying to Florida because it's not safe for the kid to be on an airplane because of COVID. I had a DSS case where Protective Services had stepped in. Mom was only allowed supervised visitation, but the supervised visitation facilities in Greensboro all closed because of COVID. So things like that in the family law realm. Employment law issues, like not taking adequate COVID precautions or band-aiding vaccinations. Insurance law, lots of businesses have business interruption insurance, and so some of them are they're filing claims against their insurance company because their businesses were closed down by the government because of COVID. Nursing home litigation, like understaffing or again not taking adequate COVID precautions. So the National Center for Courts and Sciences in DC is preparing judges around the nation for this COVID-related litigation. So North Carolina is participating in that. And the Supreme Court asked me to be one of the appellate judge that prepares for COVID-related litigation. So I've been in classes all year, which I wish y'all could have heard Lee. Lee's like, I've already heard about COVID for a year, and now I'm gonna have to hear about it for another year. But yeah, he's still hearing about it. We're trying to get a desk book ready for the other judges in the state so that when the COVID litigation hits them, they'll be ready for that. And basically, that's the report from the appellate courts. I do think it's important that we're not in the middle of any judicial races right now, this very second. But you need to think about, what kind of background does this person have? Are they from a rural area? Because do we want 15 Court of Appeals judges from Raleigh? It's not to say that they're not wonderful people, or not to say that they're not smart or anything like that, but sometimes people, they just have a different perception if they've lived it. I want y'all to know we appreciate everything y'all do. If we want you, if there's anything we can do for you, please give us a call. I have lots of young law students that volunteer at the Court of Appeals, and Lee has high school kids and college kids that volunteer at the General Assembly. If any of you have someone that you want to see, do that. Don't hesitate to let us know. We'd love to have somebody with Yadkin County ties. I had a Jester boy one time whose father was from here, and that's the closest I've gotten. But it was great, and he had visited here a lot, so it was great to have someone that actually knew where Yadkin was and appreciated it. Again, thank you.